This is the T.A.R. Life Podcast from Team Anderson Realty.
Thank you for joining us. It's a T.A.R. Life Podcast. We have Allison with our amazing team, Team Anderson Realty, and we have Melody, host. Also, last but not least, Jeremiah Jackson of Jackson Law Firm. He is going to be here to tell us a little about what he does, and we're going to start with some stories at some point, too.
Love it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you're
Absolutely.
so welcome. Okay, so anyways, we're going to go right into Jeremiah because I know how much he really enjoys speaking, and I don't want to take so much away from him. So I want to find out about the fact that, so you are primarily a real estate law firm. So you do
Correct.
a lot of closings.
Yep.
So tell us about what you do, how many locations you have, and how many closings a year you facilitate.
Yeah, we did close to 5,000 closings last year.
Whoa.
Between resale and new
Refis.
construction.
Wow.
And some refis, back when we had refis.
That's
There will be
Yeah,
more.
There will be more at some point. 4 offices in the Triangle. We've got 9 attorneys. We've got 25 support staff. My day is 100% all in on residential real estate. I've got a transactional department that runs anything from probate, estates, special proceedings, like partition proceedings. They also help investor clients and help realtors incorporate and treat their business like a business. Helping a lot of top producing agents now that have never taken the time to take care of their books, take care of their paperwork, take care of their estate planning, kind of dovetail the business planning with the estate planning.
Yeah.
And come up with a bespoke product that's just for them and their family.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love working with Jeremiah.
Thank
He
you.
loves getting
You're
my
sweet.
emails. I need you to call me. It might be 8 o'clock, but I need you to call me right now.
I think we probably have all the craziest questions for you of all the,
You've got some good ones,
Yeah.
but nothing too crazy.
I think I've been working with you for at least 10 years.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a new agent. I met you in downtown Raleigh when you were first with that different attorney. You were like an associate. I don't know. What do you call that?
Barkley Law.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I remember meeting you. I was with Adrienne Deans, and we had a closing, and I didn't see you for years.
Yep.
And then you popped up, and I was like, I feel like I knew you. And you were this big attorney. You know, you've grown so much in terms of like, do you see yourself expanding more? Or are you comfortable where you're at?
I'm comfortable where I am right now.
Yeah. I feel like that's
The 4
pretty.
locations. It's a lot.
You've got to be at the top 1% of closing attorneys in the nation, right?
I don't know about that, but it's definitely, keeps me on my toes and keeps me fresh, keeps me engaged. I've turned into the firefighter, if you will.
Oh.
I don't get into the closing room as much as I used to, as much as I want to. I'm usually the guy behind the guy, kind of writing the last minute addenda, keeping the deal in between the ditches, keeping everybody on board, talking people off the ledge.
When did they stop bringing a lot of sellers to sign with buyers? Because I remember that used to be a thing.
What was the thing when I bought my first house?
Yeah.
That was
like-
all COVID.
Was
Yeah.
I feel like that's
So
probably a good thing. 'cause
I love it.
It gets very tense.
Yeah, it's very tense. It's very awkward for everyone.
It's goofy at best, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So COVID stopped all that. We just had one party in at a time, didn't want to mix families and that sort of thing and germs. And they never did come back.
Do you feel like, I guess one thing that you do for us too is you help our clients order their surveys for their houses, right?
Yep. We always recommend a survey, just like you would. Do I need a survey? Yes, of course you do. You never know what you're going to find on there. Even a townhouse, you can
I
have
never really thought about
rails and accessories and all that stuff just be off. I've seen plats recorded in the wrong way, that whole sections of the townhouse were owned by the neighbor and this kind of thing. And you can only find that stuff by survey.
What's the crazy thing you think you found on a survey?
On a survey?
Yeah.
Didn't own the rear of their house and all their backyard.
Stop.
How do you solve something like that?
A lot of money and a lot of time.
Yeah, because you probably couldn't close, right?
No, the seller doesn't own what they have. They had to go back to their seller, their attorney, file a claim. People get paid off. People sign deeds. It's
Oh,
it's the
wow.
whole thing.
That's
Yeah,
intense.
for sure.
Yeah.
Got one now where company was ABCD should have bought a property. Let's call it ABCD LLC.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the attorney before just a year ago recorded the deed into ABC, which is a totally different company.
Oh,
Oh,
so
no.
And this
nobody else
company
owns
doesn't.
it?
Yeah. So you go to this person that doesn't own it, and they're like, "Hey, we need you to sign a deed." They're like, "What the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
What is this? No, pound sand. I'm not signing anything." And then it takes some time and money to pay that person off to get them to sign a deed.
How much could I be paid off if somebody put like a house or property in mine? Like, tell me what you think most people offer.
Name your price.
Right? That's
know?
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Who pays for that? The attorney
yeah.
that did it wrong?
More or less. At the end of the day, they will. If they're paying a deductible on a malpractice claim or they're paying it out of pocket, they're going to pay for it one way or the other, for sure.
I would love to wake up and have property in my
Right.
name accidentally.
Right?
You may. You never know.
Oh, do that.
I ran into a really unique situation with Jeremiah. I guess it was probably last year. We thought we had done everything right. So there was an encroachment on a property. So we disclosed the builder and the property. There was an encroachment on the back side of the property with the property that was behind. We disclosed it on the disclosure. We put it in MLS. Like, we did everything we thought we were supposed to do. We even gave a survey to say, like, here's an encroachment. We know there's an encroachment. The builder sold it this way. And then it came down, and they were fine with it when they bought the property. But then when it came down to it, because we wouldn't do repairs, they were like, there's a cloud on title. We can actually get our due diligence money back. So Jeremiah had to help facilitate that, because even though we did everything right, it was still an encroachment on the property, and it was a cloud on title. A
lot of newer agents might not realize that those matters survive due diligence, and that if the seller can't convey clear and marketable title without those encumbrances and defects, they're in breach, and that buyer's going to get the DD back.
Yeah. That was
even
intense.
you try not to do it. I mean, you want that survey back as soon as you can get it before due diligence if you can. But in the height of the market, you were lucky to get it back before closing.
Yeah, because you couldn't get them back in time then. As far as encroachments go, I feel like every time I get a survey back, it's got an encroachment.
It's got an encroachment.
It does.
Especially older neighborhoods, fences. I've got two on mine. I bought into my house knowing there was an encroachment on my left side and my right side. My neighbor's fence on me and me on my neighbor's fence. Me on my fence on my neighbor's property on my right. And we'll just deal with it when we go to sell. We get a nervous Nelly buyer that gets a survey and sees it.
Yeah.
Then we'll just form a encroachment agreement, sign off, create an easement, and make them happy.
So aside from encroachments, when you guys are doing title searches, that's really important because if somebody's not doing that correctly, that can cause an issue down the road too. What are things that you see that could be overlooked by other closing firms if they're not diligent?
Yeah. Liens. There's a lot of shortcuts and laziness about uncanceled deeds of trust where folks have paid off loans through refinances over the years but never did get those deeds of trust canceled and then want to pass it on to you as marketable. I say no.
I just had one.
Yeah. We've got a guy who got a $60,000 IRS judgment that he paid off, and they canceled it. The next week they reclocked it.
Why would they do that?
No idea. IRS can't tell him. He's hired a high profile attorney to help him figure this out.
Wow.
But if you call the IRS, they will say to you, there is nothing owed on this debt.
Right.
There is nothing owed whatsoever.
But that's still on his credit.
But it's a cloud.
Yeah.
It's a cloud, and I can't close without it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's got to be canceled.
I mean, I just had one where it was actually, he had deceased and I was selling it for his family, and he had refinanced it, but they forgot to close it out. So, and the attorney that handled it was out in Benson, and he had passed away too. I'm like,
of course.
What am I doing? I don't even know what to do here.
Perfect
I think you had given me a recommendation for somebody out in Charlotte or something that was able to help us and close everything out.
It worked out.
Yes.
That's the thing. You guys have connections. So if there's an issue, you guys usually have a solution.
If I can't fix it, I usually know somebody that. What else we find on there? I mean, we get a lot of missing heirs, tracking those folks down, trying to get their spouses to sign. I'll tell you a crazy story.
Oh, let's hear it.
So when I bought, speaking of missing heirs, I bought a piece of property down the street from where I am now, and I bought it from a gypsy family. And I mean, tarot card reading, palm reading,
this
gypsy wedding.
Did they read
gypsy
you
family.
when they came to your house?
I didn't get it. Unfortunately, I did not get a reading.
I
I missed
We
out
know
on
someone.
that. They had already moved. Mama had passed. Actually, she had opened up her shop down 70 towards Durham. So there's a new tarot card palm reading place down there where she moved. Well, this property had been in the family for years. And when the grandmother died, like 5 people owned it. And all of them would sign a deed except for the last one, who was about 35 years old when he got locked up in California. And he was locked up 3 consecutive life sentences
Wow.
for he was a serial rapist.
Oh my goodness.
A monster, the worst of the worst. I mean,
he had no motivation.
no, this
He
guy,
didn't care
this
about
guy
having
was
extra
gonna
Cheetos
die.
and
well, so you
prison?
say that. There's some motivation. There's
the
always
crackers.
Some,
He
there's
gets
always
some extra crackers.
there's always some motivation.
Well, money.
So the house is in foreclosure as well. So I was up against the upset bid period.
Yeah.
And I needed to have that deed signed like yesterday, or I was going to lose my sale.
Fly
Because
out there.
so my plan was I was going to go rent a box truck, go down to JB's on 95, load it up with cigarettes, and drive to Folsom County Prison, and just hang out in the parking lot until the inmates started beating down the doors for those cigarettes. Who are those going to? And the minute they knew this guy needed to sign the deed to get those cigarettes,
Oh, yeah.
he would have been out.
Could you have given that many cigarettes? Did you like verify that you could really give a box full of
I
cigarettes?
didn't exactly do all that. Sorry.
Yeah,
That was
I
just
would've-
like a
I just wanted my
thought.
deed
was
signed.
doing
It was
it.
just a
I would've
thought.
done
Yeah.
that.
I mean, that was a really good planned out thought. No, that was pretty good. Absolutely.
So what ended up motivating
So
him?
like literally the day before I needed to, get off the pot, a letter came in the mail, just his signature and a
Mhm.
notary, no deed, just he signed the back page of a deed and sent it to me, and I was able to close. It was a miracle.
Wow.
That's insane.
It is nuts.
Yeah.
Wow.
So in North Carolina, most married people hold title together.
Mhm.
1 to buy, 2 to sell,
That's
1
right.
to sell. How else can you hold title as
Yeah.
a
As a
married person? Like if I was married and not, I'm just saying, like, how could you also hold title if you didn't want it to be, it would automatically go to them?
Yeah, I mean, if you're married, there's really no reason not to hold it tenancy by the entirety unless you're on the way out as a relationship. Some other options would be to hold it in LLC or
Yeah.
an INC.
But if you have a
Um,
loan on it, though, you can't
Yeah.
just throw it in an LLC, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, not without triggering a do won't sell clause.
A lot
Now,
of people try to throw them in like a trust too, and you can't
trusts
always.
are okay.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can
Trusts
you,
are fine.
So if you have so if I owned a property with Erica and we were both on the mortgage and let's say we were married, could you just throw it into an LLC to make it a business without it being paid off?
The best practice is to call the lender and ask.
Yeah.
They may
Okay.
say no. You can still do it. Just know that you can trigger that do won't sell clause. And if they
Okay.
find out, they can ask you to refinance it, pay it off, and
Yeah.
this sort of thing.
So
Now-
Can they not say just put it back in your name?
So historically, that's what happens.
Oh,
Yeah.
You've got so many days to get it back.
If they really don't like you, then they'll.
So-
just do
but
it.
in 19 years, I've never seen it until this past year.
Really?
And I saw my first one.
Really?
And normally, if you make your payments, things cool.
Yeah.
Nobody's looking. Nobody's doing title searches for the sake of it. But the lender popped the buyer for transferring into an LLC without getting their permission first.
Wow.
And
What
called.
happened then?
They had a refinance.
They
They
did?
called the loan.
They couldn't just put it back in.
They
Really?
could have. They didn't want to.
Yeah. Usually, it's kind of a cat and mouse game, right?
Oh, wow.
So you deed it back into your personal name, get right with the Lord, make your payments,
Yeah.
keep it up, and then a few months later go back in the LLC.
So what happens if somebody is married but they're separated?
Mhm.
Do they have to, does the divorce need to be finalized before closing, or how does that work?
As far as when they go to sell,
Mm-hmm.
no, they can sell it while they're married still,
Okay.
or they can sell it after they're divorced.
But
Either
both
way.
have to sign,
They
and
both have
that
to
could be
sign
the
it.
hard part,
Yeah,
right?
that can be,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's also a document that they can together. name of it now.
You mean to
Free
purchase?
traders.
Free traders,
Yeah.
yeah. So you could get a free trader, so they could actually go purchase. So because I guess a
Mhm.
separation isn't a free trader. Like they actually have to sign that free trader to buy another property if they're not divorced, right?
Not necessarily, right?
Really?
Yeah. So the best practice is the divorce attorney, is part of their suite of documents that they're going to put together for you, their package. They're going to have a separation agreement, a memorandum of that separation agreement that keeps everything private, but just lifts out the language that the real estate attorneys need.
Yeah.
And then we can record that. And that basically waives marital interest of the ex.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
We can invest solely into the
So
wife,
that is
kind of thing.
like a legal way to do it without specifically needing a free trader agreement. But either way, you need an attorney to.
Mhm.
You got to have at
Yeah,
least a
free trader
separation.
works too.
Something.
Yeah.
Free trader, to me, is the same as the memorandum of separation
Can you
agreement.
whip
Same
up a
language.
free trader like right before you close, and if they sign it, it's good to go?
Yeah.
It's just better to get one before you go under contract.
Yeah, I like to see them work directly with their divorce attorneys and do it.
Can't
well
whip
ahead
one
of
up,
time.
Jeremiah?
I
We
can
need
I
to?
can whip it up, but I try not to practice family law.
What
Yeah.
about
I don't like doing it.
power of
But I will.
attorneys though? Because those need to be recorded with the county though, right?
They are.
Before they're
Mhm.
actually like a legally binding
Mhm.
document, right?
Yep. Now lenders are getting tighter on who
Are
can
they?
use a power of attorney.
So probably military.
Military is A-OK.
Yeah,
but,
I'm doing one now.
Yeah, but they're liking this. They want to see like direct family, not distant family.
Okay.
you know,
What
with
happens
those.
if they don't have any direct family? Will there be an exception? Like everybody's
That's
dead.
up to a lender. Totally up to the lender.
I guess it
Yeah.
does. I mean, I just had the attorney was okay with the power of attorney, but USDA was like, they're the ones that really ultimately got to make that call, and it was for a VA loan. So naturally, they knew he was deployed. So, yeah, that's normally where we see it.
You will do. So Jeremiah closed our beach house and our lake house. So you are statewide, right?
He did my
absolutely.
mountain house
Yep.
too.
So that's, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Yep.
something to keep in mind
Mhm.
that, you actually found an issue with my title, how it was recorded with my lake house, and you helped us solve that before closing. And I'm so grateful because the last owner did not notice,
Yeah. they
and
didn't
he
clean
had
it up.
owned it 9 years. And it was a kind of a weird situation because it had 2 lots and it was kind of combined into one, purchase. And that was so helpful. And nobody has to even go into your office, right? It can be a mobile notary
Mhm.
that's used.
Absolutely.
That's so convenient.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are buying throughout the state and people that are buying from other states that are they went home, right?
Mhm.
So they can do their mail away closing. They can do everything. And you just said too, let's talk about this digital.
Mhm. It's going to get a lot easier. So supposedly on July 1st, remote electronic notarization is going to come into effect.
Really?
Where basically any North Carolina e-notary can notarize for anybody that's signed inside the confines of the U.S.
It's amazing.
So no more mail-away closing.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's going to
that'll
be pretty
awesome.
sweet.
Oh, it is so
Yeah.
much better than
Yeah.
the mail because you cannot rely on the mail.
Yeah,
Post
and
office.
I'm
They're
not
just
relying.
making things so much easier now. Like,
absolutely.
He's been waiting for like a decade for
bring
this.
it on.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, his closings historically are like one of the fastest that I've ever
Oh yeah.
what I've ever been to. I
Yeah.
mean, I love the way that you do things where you go over everything first. What are your questions? And then it's like, now we're signing.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
it is.
We try to keep it short and sweet.
I think I've
but highly
memorized some of the things
informative
you say.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
You
probably
don't
can
pay,
do
you
it.
don't stay.
No, I'm sure you can do it by now.
I think
You
I
got
was an attorney
this.
in my past life. Yeah,
She was.
I really think I was. Yeah, it was
Next
my-
time it's yours. I'll just
She's got the
observe it.
personality of one.
That's right. That's right.
I really do.
Yeah, you should do
she
it.
goes
I do.
after it.
Criminal.
She's a
attorney.
shark.
Family. I'd be that family law attorney. That's what I would
Oh
do.
no.
Criminal.
You would be criminal.
All day
All the
long.
way.
Prosecution
It
or
would be like a
defense?
murderer. She would be like, all right, we're going to get you out of this.
Oh, defense attorney. Okay.
Defense.
Okay,
Yeah.
I hear you.
I
Good
don't
for you.
know. I'm not as fluffy. So, well, I guess that would be.
You don't need to be fluffy for criminals.
yeah.
You're not fluffing anybody.
Maybe I'm going back to law school.
You just have to be a reasonable doubt. There's a reasonable doubt.
I'm just going back. I'm going back to be a attorney. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Jeremiah
Keep me
would be like,
posted on
okay.
that.
I will. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
Do you
turning.
want, can she be a closing attorney?
Absolutely, you can
Oh,
be.
thank
Yeah, you know where to go.
That'd be so good.
You know where
I
to
do
come.
know where to go.
I could go in and do closings with you.
All day long.
Yes. I'll send the team to Mel.
Yeah.
By
She'll
then
be
it could
like,
be
"Oh."
digital. You could be on Skinwalker
This could have been
Ranch,
my
Yeah,
closing.
It
and
is.
she can be in North Carolina,
See?
Yeah.
and you can just do the
Yeah.
closing
The
together.
new Erica's with me.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Maybe from a different dimension. So
2.0.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
Yep. And my daughter is like me. And I'm like, you should be an attorney. I'm like,
I say the same thing to my daughter.
she's like, no, I'm going to be a psychiatrist. I'm like, I might need you later too.
That's right.
You know, I went
That
through a
could be your
stint
first
where I
patient.
wanted to be a therapist. I won't say therapist.
Yeah.
We won't.
I mean,
Occupational, physical,
therapist.
sex therapy.
Wait,
All right.
should I put this on the podcast? And I told my dad, I was like, all right, Dad, I think I want to be like a sex therapist. Like, no. He was like, you're going to get your degree in business. He was like, because you're not going to make any money. I was like, okay.
I love
I was
that.
like, then I'm just going to be a real estate agent. He was like, after you finish your degree. And I was like, all right, deal.
Was he right?
Yeah, well, probably. I took a couple sex education classes in college, and I was fascinated
Found
by
it
them. But
so
I feel like I
interesting.
would have been so bored. People whining. Like,
Yeah.
I would have been like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You need to reevaluate your life.
Dad is like, he should have been a therapist too. Cause like he'll say the most random things
First,
sometimes.
let's
He'll say like,
Jennifer's quote of my father. Go ahead and tell him.
he just says the most, and he's so calm and collective. He'll be like,
Jennifer put it on her Facebook, and it says, "It's easy to say things." Douglas Dittman. She put an owl by it.
That's fantastic. Wise believer.
fantastic.
Oh,
He's just
I
such an
love it.
awesome human.
Because they were like, oh, we would totally drink all this juice. And he was like, it's real easy to say things, he said, until you start doing them.
Is that his quote? I love that. Quote of the day.
It's so funny. He has this really dry sense of humor. And I'm always like, are you shocked or surprised
See,
at what we're
remember-
doing? He's like, no.
At Christmas Eve, he was like, that's classy.
He's like Ron Burgundy.
That's classy. He's
Oh,
great.
I remember he used to go into your closings back when my
He
dad
did.
was
He used
more
to represent.
actively.
Yep,
Yeah.
Yep.
He was a workhorse.
No doubt.
He
Yeah.
still is. He can't sit still.
I know.
You should see this. What is that? It's like stained glass. It's that what he built in the living room.
Yeah,
Oh.
he did a recess. He loves recessing things, and he put a picture of the
Golden Gate Bridge.
Golden Gate Bridge, and he recessed it in the wall, but he put a light, and he had a stained glass window that my aunt had made him years ago of a brewery that somebody in our family had started when he came from Germany before the fire of San Francisco. And so he backlit it so you can see the light through it, and you look like you're seeing the San Francisco Bridge
It's
in the back.
insanely gorgeous.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's like just puts it together.
He's an artist, huh?
Oh, he is.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. His attention to detail is like no
Yeah.
other. I remember the first time I took him on a staging appointment with me, and he told me what to do, and I'm like, this is brilliant to me.
Oh, he will blow your mind with that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Love
But
it.
he used to be my, like, you put out a lot of fire. So instead of my dad, I just use you, Jeremiah, now.
Yeah,
You
we
let me know.
we love texting you and emailing
My
you. at
dad
8
was
o'clock.
like, you would fire everybody if you were the one putting out the fire. So I was like, yeah, you're probably right. He was like, we would have no income if we actually went. And I actually got better over the years. Now, this is 13 years. But there was a period of time where I'm like, just tell them to go away.
Yeah.
Tell them we don't want their business. And he's like, no, I'm not saying that. And I think sometimes I'm sure you think that, but you don't want to say
I
that.
think it's
Right?
yeah. It does cross my mind.
Because if you, okay, so you do your job for, what is your average closing price?
$9.95.
$9.95. At some point, there are some people that are so terrible, it's not worth it.
It's just a loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It-
you
it's-
can kind of smell those coming, but you got to
Yeah.
put up with those.
You
know?
do. You can't just cherry pick. Because you can't run a business that way.
Right.
no,
right.
no, and
What's the
everybody
agent
needs to
gonna
buy a
think?
house.
Right.
Everybody needs a
That's
house.
right. It's happy law.
It is. It is. Everybody needs it. So it's full 360. So right.
Where are you working out of? The Glenwood office?
Glenwood.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you live in Raleigh.
Mhm.
Are you born and raised in?
Carolina Beach.
Wow, I used to live there too.
No way. When did you
Yes.
live in Carolina Beach?
2008 to 2014.
Okay. I left in 96.
I lived
Yeah.
right over Snowscut Bridge.
Yep. Know where you
There's condos that were there that just caught on fire like 2 years ago.
are. I didn't know about that. Is
That's
that
small.
the K area?
Yeah.
They used to call it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I met my husband at the dive.
Oh, no way.
Yes.
That's a trip. So
Yeah.
you know, if you're heading left on a canal
Mm-hmm.
and you're heading towards now
North.
Freeman's Park
Yeah,
where you drive
yeah,
on the beach,
yeah.
there's 3 left turns way down there.
Yep.
Florida, Virginia, and Georgia.
Okay.
I lived on Florida
What?
next to Linda Lavin. Alice on Mel's Diner.
Oh, yes.
Remember her?
Yes.
Yeah, she had the house right next to me.
Wow.
Yeah, trip.
I
small
loved
world.
It is.
loved
Small.
living in Carolina Beach. I wanted to buy a place there instead of Beach Mountain.
Oh,
I
sure.
love Carolina Beach.
Too bad you didn't.
I know, but it's such a great place. But yeah, I met my husband at the dive. He went to UNCW, and that's actually where my daughter wants to go to college.
Seahawk.
Yeah,
Good
I'm
for
like,
him.
no, you don't. It's too far away.
Yeah.
You're gonna have emptiness syndrome here pretty soon.
I just don't want her to leave.
That's
By the
all.
way, I'm like, fly, birdie, fly.
You're old enough.
Spread your wings.
There are worse places to go, though, right?
I mean, it
And
is
for you
a
to be
really
able to
easy
go
drive,
visit
though.
her and hit Wrightsville or Carolina
Exactly.
Beach and
Elsa, where are you from?
Raleigh.
You are born and raised?
the
Mhm.
rare bird.
Yeah.
Yes, I am. I was born here, and then I lived in South Florida for a while.
What part of South Florida?
Davie.
I
Broward
used to go to
County.
Davie.
So did I.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a small
I used
world.
to go hang out in Delray before it was like
Very-
poppin'.
Yeah.
When did you live in South Florida?
The 90s.
Me too.
All right. Yeah, so my parents are actually from Florida, and then they moved to North Carolina for a little bit.
Where were
and
you?
then
So you were born in.
I was born here, but then we moved back for a little
How
bit.
old were you when you lived in?
I was 10 when we moved back here.
Okay, so you were young, like
Yeah,
me.
like elementary.
Yeah, me too.
Elementary school. Yeah.
Wow.
And I still love it. I love Florida.
I
All
like
of my
it too,
family,
but
my
it's not that great to
cousins,
live
and-
there.
Yeah.
It is, but it isn't. Like I can see why there's snowbirds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's fun. I'm like, yeah, let's go hang out in Florida when it's cold here. And I go back. I'm like, I totally get it now that I'm older.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love North Carolina, though. I feel like, especially Raleigh, it's like 2 hours to Wilmington,
Yep.
3 hours to my mountain house. I mean, the
Mhm.
lake was, 2 hours when we took 2.5 to Nebo.
3.5.
So I feel
Or
like
3
we're
hours
just
and 15 minutes.
essentially located to
Yeah.
everything here.
Atlanta in 5 hours, DC
Mm-hmm.
in 4.5.
Do love DC.
So much.
Yeah.
Get lots of good lakes around here.
Yeah.
It's so much. And you have a place up at Lake Gaston, too, right?
Gaston, yep.
Do you like it up there?
I
Is
love
it
it.
Virginia's? Or North?
We're on the Virginia side by like 500 yards.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it pretty?
It's gorgeous.
I bet.
Yeah, my blood pressure goes down about 100 points to see my
Do you have a boat
front
yet?
center. Oh yeah. Well, we had a boat. We took
Okay.
it. We took it from Falls Lake to Gaston, put it there permanently.
Very nice. What
Yeah.
kind of boat is it?
Little deck boat,
Okay.
22-footer.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
have one that fits in our garage, so it must be like nice.
That's a good size.
It's a little jet boat, so you can take it in
Oh, that's
shallow
fun.
water.
You're going to keep that
Those are
forever,
fun.
aren't you?
No, you want to buy it? It's for sale.
Are you going to buy a horse?
Find me on
Are you
Facebook.
going to buy a horse? She's like, we have this boat and it's
Buy
awesome.
it. Put it on Facebook.
I like to
Aren't
have
you going to get a
seat.
horse when you sell it?
I think so. Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
You have a horse now?
No, I
She's
didn't.
had
I had
them.
5. I had 5 horses.
She was a hoarder.
I was. It was like,
Wow.
Animal hoarder.
this animal has given me an attitude. I want a new horse. And then my husband would come up and be like, why is there 2 horses and one's gone? I'm like, I bought 2 for 1.
Erica, how many horses do you have?
Oh my gosh.
Gosh, Jeremiah,
How
this is
many?
the problem we're talking
Okay.
about.
All right.
I have 3 young horses
Right.
that are between 6 months old and 1.5 years at Hilltop Farms in Cobra, Maryland, I think. And I have 2 horses. I have 1 horse in New Hill at Victory Hill Farm and 1 pony at Victory
Oh.
Hill Farm. So I have
Aw.
5 horses total. And I kept saying that I bought them to sell, and I have not sold them.
And we're going to get horses at the other house. at
Well,
Daddy
so
Doug's
I want to
house,
sell them, and I want to get some fun trail horses and just go and
to Raven Rock. We can
yeah,
ride
like
down
just
there.
go do
That
horse
sounds
stuff.
amazing.
That don't, they're not going to kill me. They're not
Yeah.
young.
When I'm as broke as possible.
Dead broke.
Dead broke.
She
Yeah.
was like, I have like $5,000. Can I? And I was like, absolutely not, Melody.
She's like,
You're
absolutely
gonna
not.
die.
When we went to, did you go to the dude ranch that we went to?
He's the one that recommended
Oh,
it.
yeah.
White Stallion.
Yes, so you went.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm like,
That year I went, they
It-
told me that.
Ridiculous.
so they're like, check what box of like what level you are.
Advanced.
So advanced here. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know these horses. Beginner. I think they gave me like halfway dead.
Right, right.
I wasn't
And
like
fell with her.
I wasn't like a full on like cancer, and I was having to whip it.
Fell dying.
And it fell over, and it was so small that like I didn't fall. I like just stepped off of it as it rolled
The horse fell over.
Yeah,
while you
No,
were
full
riding.
Spencer.
And Lindsay. It happened to Lindsay.
Oh, no,
Both of
man.
people
Yeah,
need to
evaded
retire
death.
that
yeah,
horse.
they
that
really
farm.
do,
And then
man.
he fell into a cactus, and I've got cactus stuck in my hand.
She was like, I'm fine. She's like,
Fine.
I'm fine. And I
Fine.
think
No
because
joke.
she was so calm, Lindsay was very calm. She's like, I just remember Mel and how she just was very
Gracefully
calm. And I
stepped off.
figured it just happens all the time with these horses.
And then they like bring me another horse out to the trail, and it's like, okay, I had like a pony that was like
She's
maybe
4'11"
the-
for reference.
it was like maybe 13 hands. They come out and they're like, we got you a new horse. His name is Yukon. He's like 20 hands.
Holy
It's at
crap.
least 16.
I couldn't
probably
get up
one
there.
or
Big
two.
step ladder.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It
That
was so much fun, though.
It was really
We
fun.
had a blast.
Yeah.
That
Wait,
was a great
Yeah,
recommendation.
I'm glad you liked it.
That was, what was that, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Gorgeous out there.
Oh
so
my
much
That whole
fun.
Goofy Pass
We're going
ride.
to Scottsdale. We'll be in Scottsdale next week.
Yeah.
Y'all are always traveling.
All week.
We are.
Man.
It's
Love
like
it.
I
I can't-
got
I can't
shoulder
keep up.
surgery, but we're making
Yeah,
it a
we're-
team building exercise.
We're going to be with Doug.
Yeah,
Right.
and then we're going to be exploring the Grand Canyon.
Hey.
That's a dream of mine. It's on the bucket
You
list.
haven't been? Really?
No.
Girl?
You
I
need
wanna
to just
go.
fly out and go with us.
Is it just as amazing as it looks on TV?
It is. It's unbelievable. I
Yeah.
haven't actually hiked some of the trails, so I want us to hike
Never
some
been.
or whitewater raft.
It's like, no, it's like full extreme with
No in
Erica.
between.
Where she's like, if you're not gonna, there's not a chance you're gonna die. We're not going.
I was like, come on, Mel. Like, you're either the ride or die team. Like, we're like this. We
She's
do
like, have you ever been
extremes.
rafting? I'm like, Erica, I can't swim. She's like,
I
we're
want to
gonna
do a level
extreme.
5 raft.
I would love to do something
Like,
like that.
It's
That's on the
fun.
bucket list too.
Guides.
It's
for
fun.
me.
But
Mm.
there's a thing called the Terminator in Chile. It's a level 5 rapid.
Ooh,
You
I
may
would
die.
Really like. Yeah, you may die.
Possibility.
just- well, yeah.
I'm so there.
It's an inherent
I
risk
can't
when you're
swim.
level 5.
I'm like,
I
I'm there.
can't swim.
I'm like, I hope God doesn't think it's my time because I'm. Yeah, you have to learn to freaking swim. And you can learn to swim too.
Yeah, your YMCA program's coming up this
It's like
summer.
there's
Get you
floating.
right in
Although
there.
I will say, if I'm gonna learn to swim, I think I'm gonna find the guy that I skydived with because he was like, I will teach you to swim in 5 minutes. And I
Do
was
it.
like, okay, I'm gonna find you.
You
when I'm
need
ready.
to because we're certified, so you got to go scuba diving with us too.
It's like if you don't do it all, you're not doing.
No.
It's all or nothing,
All in.
Jeremiah. In life.
Absolutely.
That's
That's
right.
what you
You
signed.
only live
I
once,
signed a
right?
waiver when I
Exactly.
became
Yeah.
her friend of you got to do it all.
Yeah.
She's the one that bought me the skydiving, and then I bought her it. So
She re-gifted.
she was like,
That's part of the Team Anderson employment agreement.
It was.
Absolutely.
it's a trust fall with God.
I didn't even think it. She's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm fine, fine."
She's like,
I got off and I'm like, "I'm gonna vomit." I was like,
roller coaster.
"No,
Oh,
I
really?
on a roller
First time?
coaster."
Which
Have
one
you-
did you do?
Would you jump out of a what?
Which roller coaster did you
None.
do?
She's never.
Oh, never
she
been on a
jumped
roller
out of a
coaster.
plane
Oh.
first.
Oh, wow.
Would you
Yeah,
do
of course.
skydiving?
Baby steps.
Would you?
We can start with roller
You wouldn't
coasters.
throw yourself. You should
Maybe.
just throw yourself out of an airplane.
Just throw yourself out 13,500.
Yes, just do it. Just do it.
It's like I guess I'm conquering my fear of heights.
She got what? She calls me and she's like, "You're going." I had been drinking. I was like, "Sure." Yeah. And the next day I was like, "What? I think
booked
it's
it,
changed
did
my
it.
mind."
Cannot no take backs.
She's like, "There's no take backs. You're go-. And I was like, "I'm just gonna go." And then like the last second, be like, "I can't do it."
I told my guy, I was like, if I say no, just jump. Like, don't ask.
Just push
Just
me.
go.
Yeah.
Like,
The
I
idea
don't
is, you
freaking,
have
like,
to
I'm
do
here
it.
for the ride, but
Yeah,
like,
you
don't,
don't want to get up
if I
there.
overthink things,
You just can't think about it. You
Yeah.
gotta really
you zone that out.
compartmentalize, like completely. Like I don't
You
even
look
look
down,
down.
you're like,
And it's tandem, right? So
Yes.
they're on your
Have you
back.
skydived?
Yeah,
Never.
Yeah.
Jeremiah.
I would
we
love
need
to.
Would you
go.
do it?
I would do it.
March 26th.
March 26th.
March
sign up.
25th, Chad's
25th.
going to do it.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Where?
And Diane,
Right. Diane's going to do too. Franklinton,
Mhm.
yeah.
outside of Youngsville.
Cadence. Sky
They're
Sports.
amazing. Like amazing.
I'd love to do it
Best
once.
experience.
Yeah,
ever.
we're going to do
Yeah.
it at 2 p.m. Get a ticket and meet us there.
Okay. That sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
should.
Will you do it?
March 26th.
Yeah.
I would
5th.
totally do that. 25th.
I'll give you the link.
Please let me know.
Yeah. And we'll
Do
say
that.
that you're with our group.
There you go.
That would be amazing.
Oh, man.
I know. Oh, my sister might be going too.
I'm not going to that. So
Well, we could watch it.
I'll be an ogre cook for my birthday.
Oh,
I'm turning
that's right.
39.
That's right, the big 4-0.
39.
She's going to be in her 40s.
I'm going 39. I'm going back.
Allison, how old are you?
39.
You are? Oh my gosh, we're like almost the same age.
I'm 39.
39, 39, 38. How old are you, Jeremiah?
39.
And now you're...
That's nice.
44.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're still really young.
Yeah.
How long have you been a licensed attorney?
19 years.
19. Was the bar
Wow.
hard to pass?
Yes.
You think it's worse now?
I don't know.
I need to know if I'm going to
I don't
pursue this
know.
career.
I really don't know. I studied, I passed it.
How
They
much
just
CE
need to
do
throw
you
me with
have?
the wolves.
How much CE do you have?
I think less than y'all. It's just,
Really?
yeah, it's 12 hours a year.
We have 8.
No, we've got 8.
You only have 8.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
but-
makes sense
Yeah.
because you guys have a lot more liability. Well, I don't know though. Never
I
mind.
don't know, I can-
It should be more than 12. Right?
For you?
Yeah.
For
12
you,
hours,
I think you should
nothing.
have 35
At
every year.
least.
Chad has, I think, 30 every year.
Oh, wow.
Something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
So other than obviously real estate,
Mhm.
which we, of course, use you for, but what else can you offer?
Yep. Commercial real estate.
Okay.
All right. We do, like I said, the wills, the trust planning, estate planning, business development.
Okay.
Probate, special proceedings, partitions. What am I leaving out?
How can they?
Kind of covered.
Well, and somebody could contact your office,
Yeah.
and if you guys don't do it, I'm sure you'll
Mhm.
have recommendations. How do people find you?
On my website, jacksonlawnc.com. JACKSON.
And you have a lot of 5-star reviews.
NC.com. We do.
He
Yeah.
does.
We do. We got a little following.
Well, thank you
do.
so much for
Trying.
joining
Thanks for
us.
having me.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's been so
Appreciate
fun.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. We're going to talk about your skydiving after
You're
the
in it now,
25th.
buddy.
It's going to be
let's
broadcasted. There's no.
Go. If I'm in town, let's go.
Stay tuned.
He's like, I'm out of town.
NCGD.
Well, thank you for joining us. We'll
Thanks.
see you guys next time. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the T.A.R. Life podcast with top producing mega agent Erica Anderson. If you've enjoyed this episode or found the content to be useful or fun, please consider leaving us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Visit our website at www.teamandersonrealty.com. We are actively serving the Triangle area, Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte, and the coastal regions of North Carolina. If you're looking to sell a home, please contact Team Anderson Realty to set up an in-person or virtual consultation today.